Good to see you,
It's
sir.
it's great to be with you. Thanks so much.
Well, tax reform, I think you've heard about it a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's the talk of the day, and
Right.
but it's all about getting it done. Sadly, we've been talking about it for far too long and not actually working on it, and yet here we are within the next few days where not only we'll be debating it, but we'll ultimately be voting on it on the floor. And so I'm optimistic that we'll start to put more of the hardworking American taxpayer dollars back in their pocket, because it's not our money, it's theirs. And I think if more members on Capitol Hill understood that, they would perhaps be a little bit more fiscally sound. The basic framework is one that's good. It's actually very aggressive, very pro-growth, pro-family in terms of the way that it's set down. I think the common negative comments that are made about it are going to be said about any tax reform bill, that it benefits the rich and not the middle income wage earner. For me, I can tell you, I've been in the Oval Office speaking directly with the president on this particular issue, and he's laser focused on making sure that those in the middle income tax brackets get not only a significant reduction, but that's the primary focus. And so, regardless of what you may see on the headlines, it's critically important that we deliver for them, and I think we will. Hopefully before Christmas.
What is a non-negotiable for you in any tax reform bill?
You knew you were
I
gonna get that
don't normally
question.
answer these types of questions, but I will for you guys.
Oh, well, thank you. Bless your heart.
I think some of the non-negotiables for me, it really is about being very aggressive on both the corporate and the small business tax rate. If we're just going to give big corporations a break and not the small business guy, that's a non-starter. It's a red line. The other is looking at making sure that we take all of these standard deductions. We said double the standard deduction to make sure that that families get to see a real tax deduction. And so whether you do a double standard deduction or you just lower the rates so that they actually get a benefit, if we see their rates going up, that's a non-starter. The other thing that's actually come into play here recently has been about our 401k plans. And my conversations with the White House as well as leadership, we told them that was a line in the sand that we weren't going to cross. And so I think it went from being really not considered to being considered, and now to being not considered again. And so part of the delay in the rollout may be that switch that happened over the last 4 or 5 days that said we're going to leave 401k plans alone. Because for most of your viewers, it's all about that amount of money that they can save up for retirement. And if we start affecting that so that we can pay for a tax cut for big corporations, that's a non-starter, both politically and just from a policy standpoint.
I've got to ask you about the 39.6. You know the figure. It's the top income tax bracket. And boy, for Republicans, this could be a tough pill to swallow. Give me your sense about all of that.
Philosophically, I believe that you lower all the rates,
Right.
and so that's where I am. I can tell you that the 39.6% rate. I'm a representative. The voting card that I have it may have my picture on it, but it doesn't belong to me. It belongs to the people of North Carolina in my particular case, and so we're very, very attuned to that. And so some of those people have been saying, listen, giving that upper bracket a break, while I'm still having to pay is hard for me to swallow. And so at the end of the day, if they keep a 39.6% rate, and they bump it up and say people making over $1 million still have to pay that top rate, that's not a red line. It gets back to your question. It's something that we're willing to look at. Would it be my first choice? No, I think you need to cut them all and bring them all down. But if that gets put back in, it's not going to be a stumbling block for most conservatives, and certainly not for me.